You got it.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, you just want to start off with an opening statement about how tonight went and, kind of reflection on your whole season.
Yeah, I mean, obviously tonight didn't go the way we planned, but it was a great season. A month and a half ago, I'm not sure we thought we'd be sitting here. We kind of had to play our way into it, and we had a couple of tough stretches, especially at the start of the turn of the year. A lot of things internally within our group and off the basketball court that kind of is a lot more important than on the basketball court. And so for that, I'm really proud of this group. I felt like, last weekend was a huge weekend for us because we had to play awfully well to put ourselves, I think, in this spot. I don't think until that Union game we knew for sure that, that there was a little bit of uncomfortable feeling that we may not make the regional. And so for this team to put themselves in that spot, I felt like that was really good. We got beat by a really good team today. But I'm certainly proud of our effort. Maybe not the first half as much as I am the second half, but we hung in there and battled. And so it's a credit. That's kind of what this group's character is all about. They kind of hang in there and battle for each other, play for each other, and I thought they did a pretty good job of that.
You talk about you and Addison have kind of playing slightly different spots defensively, especially since Anna and Haley were in foul trouble. Just talk about effort for both of you having to go taller post players than yourself.
I mean, Addie, she's ready to step up, whatever role he puts her in. I mean, if he told her to be the point guard, she would just say, okay. And, I mean,
I would not tell her to do that.
but she would at least try. And playing beside someone like that, playing for each other, I think that's our biggest thing. We knew we had to. We were in foul trouble, and we knew that we had to step up and do what we could together.
Coach, kind of following up on that, just talk about having to put different people in different spots because, it's hardly ever happened where Anna and Haley both have 3 fouls in the first quarter.
It's really hard to play without our post people. I mean, I'm going to be honest about it, okay? It's really hard to play the way we play offensively, especially and defensively. It puts some people in some awkward positions. I do think, we lost another post player about, 3 weeks ago to an ACL. And we had 3 forwards at that point that we could rotate in there. I think that injury, this is the first time we've really seen that really step up and be somewhat of an issue. Even though Addie hung in there and did everything she could, it just puts a little bit more stress and strain on them minutes-wise, me and Addie in that spot. But, obviously you saw in the third quarter and for most of the fourth quarter, when we have a post player, one of those 2 in, it allows us to flow a little bit better offensively and put some people in some more natural positions and spots that we've played all year long. But, I mean, we can only control what we can control. We allowed some easy post-ups that got us in foul trouble. Obviously that's going to come back and bite us pretty bad in this game.
Now to talk about your offensive performance tonight, 32 points, got the line, shot 14 free throws here, and I made 13 of them. Talk about what you saw, you were able to drive the lane, especially in that second half, and get to the bucket pretty easily.
Yeah, it's always the best thing to do. Like whenever you're facing that type of adversity through the game, like Anna's out, which is Anna and Haley are able to score for us. Joe, everyone can step up and score for us, and so it's kind of hard whenever we're in foul trouble. Sometimes we have to try to get them in foul trouble, and so I was just trying to get to the rim and, catch back up as quickly as possible because we were down pretty bad.
Coach, also, Nova shot, made 5 3-pointers in the first half, didn't make any in the second half. Talk about your adjustments on that side, forcing them to not take as many open threes.
Well, I mean, again, I think it was just a little bit of sense of urgency, and they made a couple tough ones in the first half. But we had some breakdowns. I felt like we got kind of out of what we do defensively, maybe in the first half. It's certainly understandable when you're trying to, at some point, you feel it's kind of slipping away. You try to do too much. we're a stop over steal team. We're trying to get stops. We're not trying to get a ton of steals. I felt like we started to maybe overplay and gamble a little bit in a couple spots, and it kind of, against somebody that's well coached and can move the basketball and has multiple ball handling guards like Nova does, they can kind of pick you apart right there. So, but I do, again, defensively in the third quarter, I thought we were really good. I mean, I thought we moved our legs. That's what got us back in. That's what we talked about at halftime, you know, is just go back out and think about getting stops and then try to execute on the other end. We know we can get, you know, we know we can get to the foul line. We can get her in some spots. You know, I thought Mia got in some really good gaps and made some good plays where we didn't shoot it great again today. Made 4-14 from the three, but you know, the biggest thing for us is to continue to play downhill, which we did. But you know, I mean, they made some big shots. They really had us on our heels in that first half, and we were reeling a little bit. So to see us fight back, to see us kind of show the character that we've showed all year was certainly what we expect out of this team.
And then finally, Coach, you know, end of season is always disappointing, but you bring everybody back for next year. You don't have a lot of seniors on this team. Talk about keeping that core together and taking that next step.
Well, that's what we talked about in the locker room just now. Actually, Philip, was the fact that last year was you felt, you know, an end of an era a little bit. You know, Haley's graduating, you know, after 5 years and making everybody in the GSC happy that she's not going to play anymore, and then we lose 3 other seniors at that point in time, and you go, man, that's just a crushing blow at this point. But, you know, I think this team, what they've been able to experience, and this has been a very gratifying year of coaching because we didn't know what we had. You know, we knew we had some pieces, but we had to rely on several new pieces this year and put some people in some different spots to see them get as much. You know, sometimes you walk out of and coaches tell you all the time, sometimes the year's over and you go, man, we didn't get a whole bunch out of it. This group had a lot more in them, okay? I'm not sure this bunch has a lot more in them than what we got out of them. I mean, I think we got everything we could possibly get out of this team. They gave it everything. They played for them. They played for each other so great this year. You could see it turn and you could see it twist. Every time there was a little bit of adversity, they just started fighting together and pulling a little bit closer. And so, yeah, I mean, it was good it's good to have everybody back. It's good to have a lot of pieces that you rely on and count on. We wanted to hurt them a little bit, and we talked about that. We want them to not be happy at all about the outcome of this, but, you know, take a little bit of gratification that you got as much out of your year as you possibly could get. I couldn't ask any more out of them. You know, you saw, if you were here and you watched and you saw how poorly we played in the first half, and give credit to Nova, they made us do that. And to see the fight and to see how we fought and to see the bench come alive and to see us fight for each other, you know what I'm excited about next year, you know, because we have a lot of people that can come back. And we want that to be something that drives us through the summer and drives us going into the fall next year.
Now, you want to follow up on that and talk about bringing everybody back and having a lot of the same players.
Yeah, I think that's one of the really cool things about this year is that we knew that everyone was pretty much coming back. So we'll have everyone. And like he said, we've been through a lot of adversity this year, and it's been really fun. Especially, I feel like we kind of struggled in the beginning. Like we were not a new team. We were all kind of together, but we had like people stepping up in newer roles. And so it was fun to watch everyone kind of figure out their roles and learn like how to play together. And especially at the last few weeks, I feel like since tournament time, we've really, really hit our stride with like being able to, even in our the hardest moments like today, like we were able to pull together, still get stops and still play together and for each other. And like, I'm just really proud of that and how we fought at the end.
I think it's been really fun to see, like, we have struggled on and off the court together, though. Every time, like, something hits us, we all pull together, and it's been every single time, and, like, I feel like everyone could see that today, and that is probably the most exciting because this time of year, teams are starting to pull apart, but, like, not us. I feel like we are just constantly coming together, and I think going into next year, like, that's just going to grow. People are going to grow into their roles better. People are going to step up, and, I mean, I'm super excited for next year.
Thanks, Philip.
They do sound so smart.
Mary Duke's got me.